know what she said, she might just change your life.
I'm Christine Bentley in studio with Kate Wheeler, and we have with us Alexandria Durrell.
Rhymes with squirrel.
Rhymes with squirrel, but she is the founder of Show Me You're Brave, and you need to tell us all about that.
Well, I'm so glad to be here to be able to tell you about it. Show Me You're Brave is a project that I started by accident last fall, and it started with, I had gotten a tattoo, and I thought I was very brave for having done it. I have a fear of needles, and it represented something really big that happened in our family's life. And so I asked my friends on Facebook, just my personal friends, what they had done that was scary or brave or intimidating even. And I had just recently turned 40, and I did a mud run last year, and these are all things I don't do. And I got a lot of responses that were like that, people who had run marathons, people who had done these mud runs and tattoos and everything else. But it started to get bigger than that, and they started telling me things that they had done dealing with loved ones' illnesses and seeing parents pass away or losing friends or moving on from marriages and things that were a lot bigger and a lot braver than I thought. And most of them would brush those things off and say, it's not brave at all, it's just life, it's just what we do. But I found that when people were told that they were brave and when other people were inspired by their stories, that inspired the original person. And they started to feel this kind of, I don't know, it was a sense of pride and a sense of like accepting that they were very strong. And so I opened it up to a broader audience on Facebook and started a Facebook page and suggested that people submit their stories to me about bravery or something they did that they were scared of. And the stories that came in through this forum at Show Me You're Brave, I bought the domain and put up a form for everybody to come and fill it out, and the stories are just overwhelming. And so we've had hundreds of stories come in now that range anything from, yeah, I got a tattoo, or I brought a few of them to read to you today too. They're just overwhelming.
Okay. Give us your favorite.
Would you like to read?
I would.
I don't know if I can pick a favorite. So I brought a couple of them that I haven't shared in the past. Most of the people who submit their stories do so anonymously, so I let them know that they can...
Well, that's not very brave.
I know. But some of them are very personal, and
understand.
maybe it's identifiable and they don't want to out the other people that are involved in their stories at all. So it gives them the opportunity. I find it's almost like a confessional. So I had one woman who said she had an abortion at the age of 19, even though it broke her heart. She couldn't take care of the baby. She had no support, no way. She didn't know how anything would work out. She didn't know at all what she would do. So she had no support systems in place, and so she went to her mother, and to this day, it's 15 years later, and not a single person but her mother knows about this. But it made her feel good to share that. And she felt that by going through that, it made her a stronger person at the end, which I think is remarkable, that she could go through something that hurt her so badly and come out at the end feeling powerful for having done it. I have a couple more. This person said, the scariest thing I've ever had to do was walk past the curtain into my daughter's hospital room knowing she was in a coma and may not make it. I didn't cry in front of her. I broke down outside that curtain. Then I wiped away my tears and went in and dealt with it, and I almost lost my 4-year-old. I assume she did not, because this was a story that was submitted.
Almost is a powerful word.
It is. And some of them are just absolutely heartbreaking like that. One woman, Wendy, and it's okay that I use her name, she submitted it and she's been featured in a couple of the media outlines about the project. So she decided one day, she woke up and she decided after 10 years she was going to live for herself. She was in a marriage that she wasn't happy in, and she felt like she wasn't herself anymore. So she lost 100 pounds. She left her husband of 10 years and took a solo road trip across the country. And she said she's, for the first time in her life, feeling positive and happy for having done that. But she was so scared to make that first step. And she feels now that she's living her life for herself. And when I spoke to her, she said she didn't feel that that was brave necessarily, but scary. And I beg to differ. I think that the decisions that we make that are like that are very brave.
Well, brave means a different thing to different people. I mean, as you said, I mean, you thought you were brave having a tattoo. Now you compare it to the stories that are coming in for the project.
Sure.
You must be going, yeah.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah. But see, the thing is that for me, that was understanding that that was a very brave thing for me, or these things are very brave for other people. Some people have fears of public speaking, or fears of, I mean, there's so much anxiety and depression that just getting up out of bed, some people have submitted stories that their brave is getting up out of bed every day and facing their life. And that's very difficult.
So what do these people tell you after they've shared their story? What impact has it had on their lives?
Some of them we haven't featured their stories on the Facebook page yet, but a lot of the people, one woman, Cher, whose story was shared in a lot of newspapers through the project across the country just a week or two ago. She was really nervous about that. What happened to Cher was that she was left at the altar. The day of her wedding, her soon-to-be father-in-law arrived and said, "He's not coming. So you aren't getting married today." So she had 200 guests, and she decided that, all right, he's not coming, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to have this big party anyway. We're going to throw this big thing, and everybody who's here is here to support me, and they love me, and so they're here for solidarity, and Cher threw a huge party. Yeah. Then, years later, she's married, she has a family, everything is going smoothly. She submitted this story to the project, and it was picked up in the media, and so she's now had to face this story again. So she said she was really nervous about that, and it's uncomfortable to have that story brought up again. But she's had people reach out to her and say, "This happened to me, and I'm so glad that you're okay, that you're on the other side of this. Your story has been inspirational to me." And it gives them that sense of supporting other people and being sort of a beacon of hope for someone else that it's going to be okay.
So where is this project going? What are you going to do with this?
You know what? I'm not entirely sure yet. So for now, I share snippets of the stories on our Facebook page at the Show Me Your Brave project on Facebook. And I share full blog posts at showmeyourbrave.com. So every 4 or 5 days, I've been featuring another full story. So at this point, I go back to the people who've submitted their stories, and I ask them if there's anything they'd like to add or take away from their story, or if they'd like to include photos or their names or how they would like to approach it. My dream would be to compile them all into a book and have that be an inspirational project for other people to read the stories and just to have them as a collection for everybody to read. But at this point, it's really just about sharing the stories. And the response that I've had from people through sharing them on Facebook and the blog is that they're appreciative that they've read the stories. They're feel-good stories. Even the sad stories are feel-good because they just represent what is strong about people, no matter what. No matter if it's a tattoo or if it's something bigger, like a big life change or a death or something that they never saw coming.
Well, as we're learning, the more people talk about things and share things and open up about things, the stronger and more empowered they become.
They do. It gives them a voice. And a lot of these people think, oh, well, my story is so small, it's insignificant. But the thing is that each of our lives is only significant in what we have experienced. So I'm not going to be rushing into fires every day to save people. And I'm not in the military, so I'm not doing those acts of bravery. But that doesn't lessen the things that I do. And so the things that I've been through, if I can take power from those and take them and feel like that's an encouragement to my life, that's a benefit for me.
So when you read those stories, does it encourage you to maybe face other fears that you've had?
Sure. I'm here, so...
Oh, that was a fear?
Well, we're scary.
I mean, you're not.
Do you consider yourself brave for coming here today?
I
do. Okay. Well, congratulations.
I'm out of the house. This is great. No, I don't... just even maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I was frozen with fear. I wasn't able to do public speaking or get up and talk in front of anybody, and I said to myself, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pitch myself to my local TV station I'm a local blogger. I thought maybe I could go on and do a craft or something, and I was dying inside. I mean, I don't even know who watches it, but I was just so petrified to go on there and speak, and so worried about what other people would think, or would I do a good job, would I flub it? And then I realized it's okay. The more you do that stuff, the braver you are. But that alone led to so many other things, like this project. It led to the confidence that I'm sure that people want to hear about this kind of thing, and that it's a good thing.
Well, Alexandria, if it makes you feel any better, you have just confronted the #1 fear in the world, which is public speaking.
Is it?
It's a bigger.
I would have thought spiders, but
a bigger fear than death.
Really?
Yep. Absolutely. So
see, isn't that sad?
So from here on in, it's a breeze.
Yeah, that's it. I've done it. I'm out. I'm finished.
You can jump off the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
No, I know. But I'm just saying.
I jumped out of a perfectly good plane. I was the look on my face was fear as I'm looking down, but it was fun. But I wasn't actually scared.
Really?
There are things I've done that I
Oh.
think were braver. Confronting the man in court that's stabbed me and threatened to kill me as soon as he got out.
It is incredible.
That's brave.
Yeah, that was brave. That was
Yeah.
brave. Because, I mean, he tried to leap out of the witness box saying, as soon as I'm out of here, I'm coming to finish the job.
And most
So-
people would be frozen by that. And just doing that kind of thing is incredibly brave.
Now, well, when the police, or actually maybe more brave than that, was when the police asked to change the charges from attempted murder to aggravated assault.
Oh.
And I said, did you just hear what he said? Like, no. No. So that was done. But, I mean, you have different levels. What's the scariest thing you've faced, Christine?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't jump out of a plane because I would have a heart attack and
Yeah.
I would be dead by the time I
Right.
hit the ground. I mean, I'm so afraid of heights. I mean, on a 6-foot ladder, I'm shaky.
Yeah, no,
you know?
it's not for me either.
I'm not sure. I can't
You had
think of-
twins. The look of what have I done as you held them before you left the hospital
Yeah.
was like.
I'm sure that
Yeah,
was
when they put them in the car seats and said bye, I was, you're not, you're giving me these two human beings
For
to look
keeps.
after for keeps? What if I screw this up?
Right.
Yeah,
But being a parent it is scary. These things we take for granted the things that we do every single day that take an act of bravery. Or, I mean, for some people it's applying for their first job out of college. It's paralyzing. You're just fresh and new, and you have to apply for a position in a company where people know their stuff, and they live with the constant fear of, well, are they going to find out that I'm a fraud? Will they know? Am I for real? So
But that's
those
the
things
Cinderella
matter.
complex. I mean,
Yeah.
and women suffer from that a lot.
True.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they do. And I mean, this is great because you're kind of doing, in a sense, you're doing what we're doing. You want people to share their stories, and
Yeah.
some of them are incredible stories. I'm just, flipping through them. This woman who says, I waited while my husband was dying for someone else to pass away so my husband could live.
Yeah.
And the feelings that she went through, in truth,
Yes.
I've never been so scared in my entire life.
It gives me shivers. I remember watching Sarah's story and her husband Keith while he was struggling to breathe and knowing that. And yeah, it's terrifying. And he's fine and he's healthy and everything is great now. But yeah, the weight of waiting for someone to pass away and being so thankful but hoping, it's incredible what people come through. And on the other side of the challenges, to feel that kind of strength. So yeah, I kind of make it my mission to let people appreciate themselves, and it has really nothing to do with me. I don't. I've shared a couple of my personal stories anonymously
Yes.
as well, but I'm pretty open about the struggles too, and so I encourage people to talk about anxiety and depression and their bravery and their struggles, so that I know that there's one person out there who will read one of those stories and feel buoyed by that or lifted up.
Well, I'm sure that we have many listeners out there who have stories. Where can they go to share their story?
I would love to see them visit showmeyourbrave.com, the website where I post everything. There's a link to a form to fill out. It's just an initial form. It can just be a snippet of a story. Additionally, there's the Facebook page, Show Me Your Brave Project on Facebook, where they can kind of dip their toes in and see what it's all about and kind of see the kind of community that is building there and find out if that's something they'd like to participate in. Mostly I would like people to just feel encouraged by it.
And you are going to come back when the book is finished.
Oh, I hope so.
Either that or a television show.
You never know.
You never know. Thank you so much, Alexandra.
Thank you for having me.
Click the channel subscribe button for full-length interviews and more from What She Said here on YouTube.